Hey y'all, come on in here. It is time for More Money Monday. It is a new week. We are 18 days into the month of September, meaning that we are already more than halfway through, which is crazy. So let's get into this message for More Money Monday. And if you read the title, I love y'all. But being mediocre and wanting to be a millionaire cannot happen at the same time. And, let's talk about what it means to be basic, because we throw this word around a lot. Let's talk about what it means to be mediocre. And this is not, mediocre or basic doesn't mean you have to look a certain way. It doesn't mean you have to have a certain clothes on, bag. It's not anything exterior. Being mediocre is a choice. And we cannot be mediocre and want to have millions at the same time. Because when you don't show up for your business, that is mediocre behavior. When you don't believe in yourself, that is mediocre behavior. So, when I think about what it means to be basic, I don't think it means, that you don't wear designer or that you just wear the same clothes or, like simple clothes. That doesn't matter, because Steve Jobs was a billionaire and he wore the same black t-shirt every single day. So it has nothing to do with the exterior. Steve Jobs chose to be simply dressed, but none of his actions were basic. You may be stuck in the land of mediocrity because you don't want to show up as your full and complete self because you're afraid of what other people think. You're afraid of failure. You're afraid of people not liking your posts. You're afraid of what's going to happen if it doesn't work. You are concerned about failure. And giving in to those fears is inevitably tapping into mediocre behavior. Allowing your fear to win you is basic. I want y'all to comment in the chat, don't be basic. Let's just go ahead and comment that in the chat, because we have to have these conversations. Sister to sister, business bestie to business bestie. I'm going to hold you accountable, and we need to have a talk, because I get so many DMs from y'all, and I love DMing y'all. If you've ever DM'd me, we're having a full conversation, okay? Me and my team, we make it a point to respond to every single DM. And a lot of the themes that come up in these conversations are, I have an idea for my business, but I'm afraid it's not going to work. I haven't posted yet because I want it to be perfect. I don't know what people are going to think. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if people are going to like it. Well, I'm not really sure because my friend tried to start a business and it didn't work. Or I started a business before and I didn't make any money, so now I'm afraid. And, I was reading through some DMs and questions today, and I'm like, wow, fear has my people in a chokehold. Being mediocre has my business besties, my sis, and my brothers in a chokehold. And as I was thinking about it, I came across a video. I don't even know who it was. It was an old video of some speaker saying that you can never be successful if you care what other people think. And I feel like this is so timely, y'all, because see how this message intertwines. I just had a conversation with my dad last night on the phone. And I was like, Dad, I'm just wondering if I'm on track, should I be doing more of this? Should I be hanging out with other people? Should I do things like, other people are doing them? We all, even me, y'all, we all have our moments of insecurity and questioning ourselves. And so my dad had to speak life into me, and he had to say, Ellie, that is not your concern. You have to show up and keep being who you are, doing what you do, being consistently how you are, and that is enough. Whoever is supposed to drift to you is going to drift to you. And whoever is not drifting to you, that is not a reflection on you. It is simply just not aligned. So I want to pass you guys that same message. If you are standing in a place and you're feeling stuck because you're saying, well, what if such and such doesn't like it? Or what if people don't accept it? Let me tell you what my dad told me. Whoever drifts to you is for you. Whoever doesn't is not. And I really need you guys to understand how, again, being afraid is keeping you mediocre. And the reason it's keeping you mediocre is because true excellence, right? True excellence of self is not a matter of how much experience you have. It's not a matter of how many degrees you have. It's not a matter of who you know. It's not a matter of how many cars or designer bags you have. True excellence really comes down to you showing up 100% fully as your complete self. And deciding that you are going to leave it all on the table every single day. And when you put out that type of energy, whether it's to build your brand, whether it's to create content, whether it is to get customers, whatever it is, when you put out that type of excellent energy every day and say, you know what, I'm going for this 100%. I'm not attached to what the result is. I'm doing this because I want to show up as the highest version of myself. You will always see returns. You will always see returns, because I want to remind you guys, fear kills more dreams than failure does. When I think about all the things that I haven't achieved yet, I haven't not achieved them because I failed at them. I haven't achieved them because I've been too afraid to start. I want you to comment me in the chat if you have ideas that you have not realized yet because of the fact that you are still afraid. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for buying a badge. I want you to comment me in the chat if you have ideas, goals, dreams, you know, whatever it is that you haven't done yet, not because you failed, but because you're still afraid. And so I want us to think about the power of our mind. Everything that you have in front of you started as an idea in someone's mind, and now it is created in front of you. Even in your own life, you might have children. You might have a home. You might have a certain car. You've got to realize your power. You've manifested small things in your life in a real way. You've manifested good things. You've manifested problems. If you have a job you wanted, that came as a result of your effort. You thought it, you acted on it, and now it's in existence. If you went to brunch, you finally got the money you needed to go to that restaurant. You manifested that. You thought it, you acted upon it, and now it's here. You finally got that designer bag. You thought it, you acted upon it, and now it's here. So the same power that you have to realize something that is an idea in your mind, I need you to understand that you have the same exact power to do the opposite. The same way you have the power to make something come true in a positive way, you have the power to make something come true in a negative way. So when you worry, when you have fear, when you decide, when you say to yourself, no, I'm not going to post the content because I don't think anyone's going to like it. It's not good enough. My business, I'm not making any sales. What if I don't make any sales? What if nobody likes it? Well, guess what ends up happening? You're sitting here, right, at the same place. You don't have content posted, or not enough. When you did post, it didn't get a lot of likes because what? You said you were afraid of that happening, and so you thought it, you acted upon it, and it manifested. You don't have the sales because you have already decided, well, what if nobody buys from my business? Well, what if this? Do y'all see how this works two ways? The same courage and the same belief and the same desire that you have to get the small things in your life, right? That trip, that bag, that relationship, that brunch, that Beyonce ticket. Now, I love Beyonce, but I gotta come for some of y'all. Because y'all was definitely in my DMs. You know, I like to ask y'all questions. What are some of your biggest expenses? What are things you're planning for? And a lot of y'all was DMing me that you're getting ready for the Beyonce concert. I said, okay, that's great. I'm so excited for you to go to the Beyonce concert. Now, what about that business? Because you sure did manifest. You thought it. You got what you needed to get done so you could get the money and the outfit for that Beyonce concert. So why don't you also believe that you have the same power to think about a successful business, to start taking the actions you need for a successful business, and then to have a successful business? The same way you find a way to get yourself out of a situation, the same way you find a way to get the money you need to fix your car, the same way you find a way to get the birthday party you want for your son, the same way you find a way to get that outfit to go see Bae. You can find a way to step away. You can find a way to step away from being mediocre. All right, let me pin my comment because we just got right into it. I didn't even pin my comment today. Okay, boom. Okay, you can find a way. You can find a way. You can find a way. Because all of the goals that you have for your life, whether it's to make 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever it is, right? Those are only going to be able to come if you decide that your potential and who you are and what you have to offer is greater than your fear. Because let's really break down what you're afraid of in the first place. Let me just remind you guys, I started my business in my mom's house. I used to have a bed in the corner of her living room. After divorce, my twins at the time were like 4 months, 5 months old, maybe 6 months when I started. So I didn't have a pretty background. I had a regular iPhone. I didn't even know how to do makeup at that time. Like as simple as you can imagine is exactly what I didn't have a tree like this. Okay. It was really much giving like corner of the living room. I'm going to show y'all as little as possible because I don't want you to see that I live in the corner of my mother's living room. So let's really break down your fear because you've been delaying your excellence because you think you need a better background. You've been delaying your excellence because you think you need a different ring light. You've been delaying your excellence because you think you need to know how to edit videos. You've been delaying your excellence because you think you need all these things that you don't. What did I say earlier in this live? You deciding to show up and be 100% fully you is all that you need. But any moment that you decide to hide behind what someone else thinks, someone's going to like it or not like it, what if I get no customers? Guess what? You're manifesting exactly what you don't want. And God is just sitting here watching like, well, I've given this girl all these ideas and she's still in her own way. I want y'all to comment in the chat, get out the way. Move, sis. Get out the way. That's what I should have called this live. Move. Get out the way. The sooner that you decide to see yourself as whole and complete, the sooner your results will start to be whole and complete. But if you're already going towards your business, if you're already thinking that you're not good enough, your content isn't good enough, the post isn't good enough, whatever the product is isn't good enough, how will you ever have the opportunity to grow? You find yourself and we find ourselves embracing mediocre energy every time we let doubt win. When I was talking to my dad last night, and asking him, well, do you think I should do this? Should I be with those people? Should I start changing this? Should I try this different type of style? Should I do That was me embracing mediocre energy because I was doubting who I am and my complete self and just showing up the way I need to show up. You also have to look at, are you embracing mediocre energy because you keep doubting who you are and want to instead try to be something different because you think that that is going to get you more likes, views, comments, whatever the case is, when in reality, that doesn't matter. What matters is the confidence to show up completely, fully, and consistently. You have got to get out your own way. Because as much as we say that we want success, to speak it is one thing, but to have the actions to go behind it is another. Procrastination is just the audacity that God is going to give you a second chance tomorrow. There are certain things that you have to do today. There are certain decisions that you have to make today. I have it real bad where I procrastinate on things, and it is something I am working every single day to get better at. I want you to comment in the chat, what is one thing you are going to commit to doing this week? One thing that you didn't do last week because of fear, self-doubt, whatever the case is. What is one thing you're going to commit to doing this week? For me, my commitment is to make sure I get my content studio done and stop being mediocre, okay, and doubting my vision. Because every time you don't do what you said you were going to do, or every time you don't water the seed and the idea that is in your mind, you're not only doubting your vision, but you're also doubting God's vision that he gave you. And you have to realize that if the idea is coming to you, because there is a portion of you that can absolutely make it happen. So stop feeling like you don't have enough. Every time you feel as though you don't have enough, you are creating that reality. But when you decide that you have enough to take the first step is what's going to be taken. And then that leads to the second step, and the third step, and the fourth step. So I see you guys say post content. I would love that. Yes, I see you guys post content, apply for funding, write your business plan. Exactly. Hi, boo. All these things. The comments are loading a little slow, but I see what you guys are saying. Make this the week that you decide to get something done. Because look at this time, y'all. I moved to Senegal 48 days ago, August 1st. It is September 18th. Are y'all really seeing how time is not waiting for anyone? The distance between you and the goals and dreams that you have is really only this big. But this tiny amount of space feels so long because of the fact that you're delaying taking the first step. I want to tell you guys, in my own experience, when I started my business in my mother's living room without any of the bells and whistles, I had 300 followers when I started. Then it went up to like 4,000 maybe in about 3 or 4 months. And then it went up to 100,000 by the time I got to January. And I started in July. So the reason I'm telling you this is I need you to understand the snowball effect and the domino effect that comes with consistency. Because when you are hammering in the same spot, over and over, every day, 3 times a day, over and over, guess what? That spot has no choice but to open up. There is no other option. Consistency and deciding to stay at something and do the work, it will always lead to results. So what I really want to encourage you all to do is have the courage to start and then have the courage to stay at it even when you don't see results right away. It's a 2-part process. Start, and I'm going to make sure y'all start. And then once you've started, stay. Stay in it. Don't let it go. You have to stay in it. Because we often think that we have this microwave social media society that, okay, if I start posting 3 times a day for 2 months, I'm gonna blow up. I'm gonna blow up. and I'm going to have, all the followers, and I'm going to make $150,000. And while that can happen, I do not want you to be so attached to the outcome that you forget that the process is really where you grow. The outcome is having all the sales, all the followers, and that's great. But if you are too in love with the outcome and thinking, I need to hurry up and get there, then you're going to give up on the process. And so many of us decide to be afraid to start because we feel like the outcome is too far away. But see, that's the issue. Because if you're focused on the outcome, $1 million or 6 figures, and you're starting at $1,000, then yeah, the outcome seems impossible. And that fear is what is keeping you in the same place. But don't focus on the outcome, focus on the process. And so, you know what, I'm at 1,000 right now. Let me just get to 1,500. Okay, I'm at 1,500. Now let's see what happens if I get to 3,000. Okay, I'm at 3,000. Okay, now let's get to 5,000. And this is what allows you to stay in business. And this is what molds your character, molds your resilience, molds your discipline, so that by the time you do get to 100K, you're already set up and making plans on how you're going to get to 1 million. I want you guys to comment the word process in the chat. I love business coaching because of the fact that I want to make more entrepreneurs, especially in our community, realize that the goal is not just to start the business. The goal is to stay in business. And this is why you cannot be mediocre or basic and want to be a millionaire. Because mediocrity, again, will have you thinking and feeling that you're not good enough simply because you didn't get to the result or the outcome in 2 weeks. Mediocrity will have you thinking that because the reel you saw on Instagram told you to go walk into a bank and get $150,000 with a brand new LLC and no documents, and you tried to do it and they escorted you out. Mediocrity will have you thinking that you're the failure because what you saw on an Instagram reel didn't happen. But that's not the case. You have to recognize that you have to show up and keep going and stay excellent and stay the course and stay focused, irregardless of if what you tried to do didn't work. Because in that case of the reel that told you can get $150,000 and just walk into the bank, and walk out with a check, they was trying to set you up. That wasn't going to happen in the first place. Okay? So don't be discouraged because that was never going to happen. Do not put yourself in a disadvantaged situation because you think that you're supposed to have something that other people have. You need to focus on your process. You need to focus on staying in business. You need to realize that having a business, building wealth, making money isn't just only for the material objective, but you end up becoming a different type of person. You end up seeing yourself in a different type of way. You're able to empower your children in a different way. Poverty and insecurity are very closely related. So when we see Johnny, Joe, Bill, and Bob, who can, just take up space as white men, do whatever they want, say what they want, wear what they want, show up to a board meeting in sandals, jeans, and a t-shirt. Why? Because having money is linked to confidence. The way you operate in the world is very much linked to what you have in your bank account. Y'all know that you would be a different person had you had more money growing up and had you had more money in your bank account right now. Drop 100 in the chat if y'all agree. Drop 100 in the chat because I know you guys understand what I'm saying. So when you're on this quest to make more money, you're also on a quest to become a better person. And having more money, but also not being disciplined, don't go in the same place. Having more money, but also deciding to be mediocre and not believe in yourself and not show up consistently also don't go in the same place. And so this is why once you do become the wealth builder of your family, this is why when we do it the right way, we're able to pass not just money, but mindset down to our kids. And then they're able to inherit money and then pass money and mindset again down to their kids. So when we see generations of wealthy people, guess what? It isn't just because they have a lot of money. That's a part of it. But it's also because they've inherited the mindset, the character traits, the discipline, the resilience, the confidence to walk the world and run the world and operate in the world, knowing that they have money and their money isn't going away. And this is why we see it repeat. So I want you again to pay attention to that. Mediocrity and being a millionaire cannot go in the same place. You should want to get as far away of fear. You should want to get as far away from fear, from being basic, from doubting yourself, from any of those feelings as possible, because they are directly linked to poverty. The more we stay afraid of who we are and our potential, the less opportunity we have to realize how much money is out there for you. You might think that you're quirky. You might think that you can't dance. You might think that the way you talk isn't something other people want to hear. Mind you, would you decide to show up and be 100% authentic and say, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and do what I got to do, and I'm going to just build, and I know that the people who are supposed to drift to me will drift for me. Somebody is out there waiting on a check to give you for the way that you talk. Somebody is out there waiting to give you a check for the way that you dance, for the way that you act, for the way that you create videos, whatever the case is. But how can they find you if you decide to keep being mediocre and you don't show up? They're looking for you. They're looking for you. They're looking for you. And you know what? Let's even dive deeper into that, because if we think about Joey, John, Billy, and Bob, when they go to pitch their businesses that they had an idea about, they pitch it with confidence. It can be an idea that they just came up with 2 weeks ago. They pitch it with confidence. And then what? They get a $5 million check. We, as Black entrepreneurs, as Black women entrepreneurs, we have to pitch our ideas with confidence, because you need to know that you deserve to have this idea. You deserve to see it all the way through. You deserve to stand in a room and ask for $1 million or more to bring your idea to life. And there is definitely the right person out there who's going to give it to you. But if you count yourself out already, who's going to count you in? The potential customers that are waiting for you cannot give you any money if you keep telling yourself every day, well, I don't know if this is good enough to post. So then they're like, okay, they're just going to keep doing what they're doing. Their money is going to go somewhere else, because you're counting yourself out before they can even count you out. Everything is working in your favor. God would not have given you the idea if he wasn't going to give you the clients to sustain it. God would not have given you the dream if he was concerned about the budget that you need to bring it to life. Everything that you need is working in your favor. Everything that you want will be provided to you, but you have to move, sis, get out the way. Just like my dad told me last night, he said, Ellie, you're tripping. You need to just be confident in yourself. Do what you have to do. Everything that will come to you is supposed to. I'm going to tell you guys the same thing. Stop that mediocre, basic behavior and believe that you are a bad one. Okay? I want you to look in the mirror every day and say, why would I ever be afraid? Because look at me. Look at what I have to offer. I'm one of one. I want you to comment one of one in the chat. I'm one of one. There is no one else other than me. You are one of one. One of one. One. Unique. Unduplicated. One. Singular. Individual. Excellent. designed perfectly, supposed to be here, doing what you got to do. Are you going to let all of that go to waste because you're afraid that someone's not going to like your post? Girl, post the content. I'll like it. Send it to me after you post it, and I'll come and like it, share it, and leave a comment. Whatever I need to do to get you out of this mediocre zone, because the millions are waiting, but you can't hang out with the millions with mediocre on you. So post the content, send it to me, I'll share it, I'll like it, I'll comment, whatever you need to do to get out of your own way. Okay? And I really love y'all. So I'm about to go to my next thing because I have to now film for the CW. But this Thursday, we are having my passive income class free. So go to the link in my bio, secure your seat. We're talking about how you're going to leverage funding to get passive income. So buying cars in your business name, vending machines, ATMs, content studios, so many things. So go to the link in my bio, register for class this Thursday, passive income class, and don't forget to add on your prep kit, all right? And I expect to see y'all post this content and tag me. Love y'all. Have a good day.